going on? SAMOKFIT, checking in with you guys. You guys are doing well, doing terrific, and we are back with another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the biggest mistakes a lot of you guys out there make when it comes to putting on size. I think most people typically would struggle. Comment below which one is harder to do, to get shredded or to gain lean tissue mass. And I'll tell you, I'll give you the answer right now. It's to put on lean tissue mass is the hardest portion, because anybody can get on like a diet, a nutritional or caloric deficit in the next 12 weeks and get lean, but you can put on muscle in 12 weeks. That takes a long period of time, and a lot of people make that mistake. So in today's video, I'm going to cover some of the mistakes that most people make. This might sound familiar to you. So if there's any mistake that you think you've made or most people make, comment below and let me know. So before we get into this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Comment, let me know, share with your friends, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. But before we get started, we are going to be taking you guys through a leg session. It's going to be hamstring focused today, and yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. It's going to hurt a little bit, and after that, we are going to be grabbing some food. So I'm going to take you guys along. Let's get it. First movement that you guys saw is your leg curl. So I like to do my quote-unquote isolated movement before it's like a big compound movement. And the logic behind that really is it's not as tasking as the movement that we're about to do next, which is going to be X bar RDLs. So if you're doing, like, say, for instance, leg curling, like if you have squat, for instance, and you have squat and leg extensions in your program, I'll suggest you do leg extensions first, or you do like lying leg curl first, just because you actually have one able to do the full attention. And those movements, they're not so tasking, it's going to take away from the performance from your leg, let's say from your big compound leg. So that's just a pro tip for you guys. So the number one mistake a lot of people when it comes to doing what you're doing in the gym is training. Obviously, it's the most important. That's how you grow in the gym. And the number one mistake is people do not log their workouts. So a lot of times you get a lot of people asking questions like, hey, bro, like, what's going on? I'm just so tired. I'm not doing the games. My first question is like, how much volume are you doing? I'm doing a lot. So what's a lot? Define that for me. Give me a specific number. How many sets? How many reps? Are you training per week? So if you don't know that data, it's hard for me to adjust the data. So there's a lot of apps out there you can track your daily volume of how much you're doing. You can keep track of that, and that stores it for you. You can write that down. You can use Excel. So track how much you are doing. Because when you track it, you can definitely say, okay, I'm not growing because I'm doing this X amount of volume. So I need to increase my volume. But if you don't know what you're doing, how do you figure out what to increase? So the one mistake a lot of people make, they don't track their workouts. So track your workouts. The next movement is going to be X bar RDL. Pro tip real quick on RDLs, or any sort of like hip hinge movements that you try to incorporate in your training. I suggest my clients not to go anything more than 10 to 12 reps. Going 15 reps on like a hip hinge movement like an RDL or deadlift is counterproductive in many ways. One, a lot of times you're going to task your lower back out meaning you are going to expose yourself to getting injured for a long period of time, and a lot of times you're probably going to lose the stimulus that you're trying to apply to your hamstrings. So I'd rather clients to do like a micro, gain or micro increase, meaning, okay, 2.5 pound plate on a bar, and perform the same amount of reps that you did before. I'd rather you do that and limit the amount of reps that you're doing, just because it's kind of counterproductive. So, I mean, you're trying to get 10 to 12 reps on a hip hinge movement, and you get into like 15, 16 repetitions. Chances are the first 10 reps is going to be the most quality in terms of reps and execution that you can do. Anything more than that, your grips start to like give out a little bit. So you'd rather stop at like 10 to 15, get the quality in, increase the weight, and keep your reps within like 10 to 12. Which leads me to the next point that I'm going to bring up. I know there's a lot of fitness influencers out there. Sorry, I'm out of breath a little bit. Again, moving like that. A lot of fitness influencers out there that putting out a lot of programs. Luckily, there's a lot of good ones that are putting good programs out there that can actually follow, that fits within the kind of lifter that you are, meaning intermediate, beginner, or advanced. So the point I'm trying to make is, do not copy the same training program that your favorite fitness influencers are doing, because again, your level of training is different from somebody else. The same way I would not program the same program that I'm doing for Max or for another client, that same way you should not hop on your favorite YouTube or influencers program. I share my programs just to give you like an insight how I do my programming, but I typically tell people I do not follow what I do, because you and I can handle different amount of volume. So tip number 2, do not do the same thing that your friends, your influencers are doing. Yes, you can grab few movements here and there, but at the end of the day, you have to design the training program or the reps and the volume that caters to what you need. So the other reason why you're not making gains in the gym that you're supposed to be making is, it's going to be 2 parts. The first part is, there's this thing going on right now that a lot of people are so obsessed with high volume. I got to do high volume or nothing else. And the reality is, when the client comes to me to they want to work together for the first time, obviously I ask them, what kind of training have you been doing before, so we know where to program. And I'm looking at the program, it's got like 30 sets per workout. I've been training for 11, 12 years. I don't do 30 sets per workout. Like, the integrity of the movement, or the quality of the movement that you're doing dissipates. Like for most people, the quality of what I'm doing in the gym will go down at maybe 12, 14, 16, maybe tops for some people. 20 pushing it, depends on how well advanced you are. Maybe you can handle that kind of fatigue or that kind of volume. But reality is, most people cannot handle that much volume. So when I see something like, oh yeah, I'm doing 30 sets, I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm gonna ask clients questions like, send me a video of you squatting, send me a video of you leg pressing, or things like that. And you have to retweak a lot of the movements, and then realize, you've been sabotaging yourself. That's one. And two, because again, you're not really using, there's not a lot of quality in the movements that you're doing. So my first initial thought is I'm gonna cut that in half and see how you're gonna handle how we're going. And when we manage that and we actually see the quality of the movements, you get clients response saying yeah, you're right, man. I don't know how I was doing 30 sets. Because the quality was not there. You sabotaging your game. You just want to feed your ego to think that you're doing high volume. So quality over quantity. That's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make. The second part to that point is deload. I know you want to go into the gym and just fucking hammer the workouts all the time. You want to go hard all the time. But a lot of people see deload. I know a lot of my clients who are watching right now, they will tell you they despise deload initially, especially when we started working together. But if you're training properly, again, if you're training with the right amount of intensity and volume, you should crave deload. Your body should feel beat within the mental cycle, man, I cannot wait to have a deload. That's when you know you're actually programming really, really well. So take advantage of deload. Deload is an opportunity for you to let your body recover, especially a surplus, you want to make sure you increase your calories a little bit, especially if you're deloading, to help you recover. Because recovery is not just, okay, I'm trying to decrease the amount of volume I'm doing in the gym. It means active recovery. You can do that also. You can increase your food so your body can recover and heal itself, so you can get ready for the next meso. So deload, deload, deload. It's your friend. It's not your enemy. Don't despise deload. I know it's boring. It's not fancy. It's not sexy. And deload is another opportunity for you to try new movements. You know, trying to finesse or or find ways to fine tune the movements that you're doing. Okay, maybe you're doing it a certain way. Let me find, let me try and use this different angle or different movement that you might actually like that might give you more stimulus than you've been doing before. So one, jump volume, it's a real thing, because you're doing 30 sets per workout doesn't mean it's quality. And two, make sure you take advantage of your deload. So the next movement that we are going to be doing is leg extension. So quick pro tip. So this machine, I'm going to take this off real quick. So this machine right here, like this is where it starts. So it shortens the amount of range of motion that I can get. So quick fix to that, if you have something that's like a yoga mat, all you do, so you attach it right here, and that automatically increases the range of motion that you can get, or the more of a stretch that you get. Pro tip. I got Max here. Max is very kind enough to help me record, but I want to ask him because, again, he's a younger lifter and he's just getting started in his bodybuilding journey. So I figure, hey, you know what? Why not ask a younger guy that might have a different perspective that's just getting started compared to me that I've been training for quite some time? What do you think is the biggest mistake a lot of people make when it comes to making gains in the gym?
So probably what I would have to say is that people don't like to take a sustainable approach in the gym. Mostly, right? Consistency is key, and like really that's a point that you should be always driving home. And people always like to take like very unsustainable methods where, like Sam was saying earlier in the video, where people like to train with super high volumes, or maybe train like a muscle group every single day. Like for example, people like to do like squats every day or something like that, where that's not really a sustainable way to make gains, and then they end up like falling off, getting injured, or just not being able to adhere to what they're doing. And it's the exact same thing with nutrition too, like where people will get into like a super massive surplus dirty bulk, and they'll end up like falling off at some point being like, man, I just got super fat, my genetics must suck. But it's like, in reality, you just need to take a sustainable approach, be consistent about it, and just literally do that for just over and over and over. Like lifting is kind of a repetitive thing, because obviously like a lot of your sessions are going to be similar, your nutrition is going to be similar day to day. It obviously can be a little bit different, but really I think the main thing that people mess up when it comes to the gym, when it comes to nutrition, is not being consistent.
All right, so we just finished training. Of course, if you're trying to make gains, gym is not the only place you need to make sure you are, being accountable to. The biggest portion of that, again, let's be honest, most people train an hour, 2 hours, and you still have 22 hours left for the rest of the day. So those are also as important as your training session, meaning recovery is on point, you're getting the adequate amount of rest, and we talk about deload, taking deload very seriously. But this is the biggest part I think a lot of people definitely miss out on, and that comes to nutrition. A lot of people are very, very, attached to staying shredded, lean bulk, just because your favorite influencers out there, or your favorite YouTuber or Instagram IG model or whatever is shredded all year round for marketing purposes. And granted, some of those guys are older; they've been doing it for all year round. They're doing it because they just figure out I made all the gains that I've made, including myself. I'm not necessarily like in a bulking phase right now. I'm kind of in the maintenance. I'm fairly lean right now, and also I have all the goals that I want to accomplish. So seeing me being lean and wanting to be lean, it's not the same thing, because you're younger, you're just getting started in your fitness journey. When I started my fitness journey, I was not about getting leaner at all. I was maybe what someone might call dirty bulking, and that actually added to a lot of gains that I've made. So speaking of nutrition, we are going to grab some food right now, and we'll talk more about nutrition when we get there.
first watch?
It was amazing. First time ever here, we had 2 pancakes, we had $1 million bacon, we had a gut cleansing drink. Turned out to be around 2,000 calories, so it works real well. We're getting to big boy time, we're getting to fat boy time. So yeah, we're getting thick. It was great.
We are just leaving first watch. I had me a nice meal. Again, like I said, which leads, the previous point that I made leads to talking about food and nutrition when it comes to one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make for not making gains, and that's putting yourself in an environment that you want to make sure that your body is forced to grow. You've been training hard, you know, you got your training right, you got your nutrition right, you got your recovery right, you're sleeping right, but when it comes to nutrition, that's where a lot of people typically will miss the mark, and that's because you are most likely, I would say, addicted, because I think it's an addiction for a lot of people. Like you're addicted to staying lean all year round. The best place for you to be when you're trying to make gains is always going to be a surplus. Yes, can you make some gains in the maintenance or lean gaining? Yes. Can you even gain some lean tissue in a deficit? Yes. But Charlie. You cannot, Charlie. But for you to actually give yourself the opportunity to gain as much lean tissue as much lean tissue mass as possible, you definitely need to make sure you are in a surplus, and that means yes, you are going to gain a little bit of body fat. So especially for younger athletes or younger people that are trying to just getting started, and you are still in that sort of boat, like you've been addicted to trying to stay lean all year round, it's not beneficial for you because you're wasting a lot of your early newbie gains. Of course, the rate at which you gain muscle dissipates over a long period of time the older you get. So while you're younger, take advantage of this opportunity. Make sure you're on the massing phase, and of course you need to have a plan too. You want to mass for a certain amount of time, you want to cut, you want to do a maintenance. So definitely want to make sure you are eating enough calories to make sure you are, one, getting the lean tissue mass that you want, and you're recovering, and you're not wasting your time in the gym. At the end of the day, you cannot get mad at the progress you never made because you never allow yourself to be in a place for your body to actually do what you want your body to do. So that's the video for today. If you like this video, comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Hopefully you can look back to this video like, that's the point. I realize I'm doing it wrong, and thanks to Sam, I too have made a lot of gains in the last 2, 3, 4 years, however long it is. So I'll see you guys in the next one. SAMOKFIT. Peace.